Hello everyone and welcome back to ULM, the Dynasty mode. We're here in episode 17. We're about to get into our 2010 season, coming into the season ranked number 9, coming off of our, BCS runner-up season. TCU beat us, if you remember. I complained about it all last video, so if you missed that, just go watch that and you'll hear all about it. So we're going to get into this schedule here. We got big expectations. We didn't recruit that well this year, but we still have a great team that's capable of winning by 4 points over Southern Miss. Not a good start to the year, but it is a win. But we do lose our second game of the season against Oregon. So we've played Oregon a few times. I think we've won some, lost some, but Oregon does trip us up here at the beginning of the year on the road. We continue our road trip to the other side of the country to play Virginia and get back in the win column with a 10-point win, and then follow that up with a very close victory over UConn. So already we're looking like a much weaker team, but we do get the blowout victory over Arkansas State, only scoring 22 points. Remember, the last couple of years we've been scoring 50s and 60s, and this year we've barely cracked 30. So it's another blowout win over Rutgers here, 34-3, and then we follow that up with a nice win over Middle Tennessee State, who I think was second in our conference last year. And they are off to a rough start already as we head on the road to New Mexico State. I mean, just look at the schedule, man. Road, and then we got 2 home games, then we're back on another road trip. Just road warriors is what this team is, honestly. We pick up a nice win over New Mexico State, and then a bye week, and then we lose our second game of the year to North Texas, who looks to be en route now to win the Sun Belt title, and maybe even do something bigger than that, than just the Sun Belt. We get back in the win column against Utah State, who's having a terrible year, and then another bye week before our rivalry game against UL Lafayette, which ends in another blowout victory in favor of the Indians. The Cajuns always struggle, apparently. And then our get-right game, our universal get-right game. In Northwestern, it was Minnesota, and in this series, it's Idaho at the end of the year. And we pick up that win against Idaho, who is having a better season, but still a bad season. So a 10-2 record is only good enough to get us back to the New Orleans Bowl to play Memphis for, the third or fourth time in this series? Oh, man. I would love to end it after this. I've been saying that forever, but it's almost like I got to see it through my brother type of thing. But I know after a while, only playing New Orleans Bowls against Memphis is going to get pretty darn old. So, but we're going to get into this one here. Memphis is actually a fairly decent team this year. I think in years past, we've both been kind of like mid, around 500 teams, and that's kind of been like just the peak, for talent in these games. But this year, Memphis appears to be a halfway decent football team, so maybe this isn't as much of a guarantee for us as we think it is, because as I did point out during the scheduling part, going through our schedule, our offense really wasn't as potent as it had been in years past, and I did mess with the coaching strategy before this season, thinking that if I maybe hampered down in the passing game a bit more, that would get us to where we want to be. But maybe our strong suit is like kind of getting a good mix of both here, kind of relying on a little over 1,000 yards from the running back, and a little over 3,000 yards from a quarterback. That's where we stride. But I don't know, man. It was a big step back here. We figured from the last video that it would probably be a step back because recruiting didn't go that well, but we still had a really good team just all around, like horses in the stable and all that. But it just didn't seem to really come out that well on paper during the schedule. So we're going to get into this bowl game now. It is 1st and 10 for the Indians. We are moving a little bit here in the I formation. Franklin's going to go with the handoff, and it's an open gap, and he shoots the hole and breaks a tackle and gets brought down by the next defender, but it's a very nice pickup. I think Ramirez is a running back. Is that his name? I think that's his name, Ramirez. Yeah. See, I remember that one. You can't say I forgot it because I remembered, technically. But it's a beautiful run. We don't normally get to see a lot of great runs. Normally, we get ran on. I think Memphis has ran over us in this New Orleans Bowl before. But on the very next play, Memphis is not fooled by our tricks here, as they have a linebacker, a big defender, way inside before we can even really get the handoff. So 2nd and 16, Franklin's going to drop back. The pressure is on, and it gets to Franklin, and he's going to eat some turf here. He's going to eat some of that midfield logo turf as he gets brought down. So it's 2 straight negative plays after a very nice pickup by Ramirez on 3rd and 22. Last play of the quarter, Franklin's trying to roll out, and he nearly gets rid of the football, but he gets gobbled up again. So 3 straight negative plays is going to erase that drive and end the first quarter here in New Orleans. So on 2nd and 7, we're going to cut further ahead into the first half as neither offense can really get anything going. And Franklin finds an open receiver. It's Schroeder who hauls that one in and is brought down. So it's a 1st and 10 now for the Indians just outside of the red zone. We're going to send a man in motion. Franklin's going to stand all by himself in the backfield. It's a high snap. He's going to whip this one right across the middle, and it is off the hands of our receiver. It's batted around a bit. Potentially dangerous, but fortunately it does not end up in the wrong hands. So 2nd and 10 now for our offense here. Just a little over 2 minutes to operate. Franklin's dropping back. He's got good coverage up front here, but it eventually goes away. If you take that long to find an open receiver, you're eventually going to let a defender get loose, and Franklin did. So it's another sack. And so on 3rd and 16, it's a long, deep ball to Schroeder, who hauls it in and falls forward into the end zone for the touchdown. So, I mean, 3 straight sacks is what it feels like. Just taking a whole bunch of sacks and then finally just kind of bailing ourselves out here. These drives are getting kind of stagnant until we find that one positive play that gets us in. So the first half will come to a close. Memphis has not shown up to New Orleans here. It's been a kind of a slog on both sides of the ball, but we have another opportunity here around midfield. Franklin's going to uncork one to the right side of the field, and he finds an open man who redirects and cuts upfield, drags a couple Memphis players with him, and it is a humongous first down for the Indians. So 1st and 10 now at about the 25-yard line. Franklin's going to whip this one across the middle of the field again, and it looks like Schroeder. He might have found Schroeder again in the middle of the field for the first down, and that is Schroeder. So good connection there. You already saw the receiving breakdown between our receiving corps. So 1st and goal now for the Indians from about the 5-yard line. We're going to pitch it to Ramirez, who gets gobbled up at the 5-yard line. Doesn't really get a whole lot of yardage. So we're going to need to reload here on 2nd and goal here from about the 5 again. Franklin's going to stand firm in the pocket, take all day to throw, and he finds Schroeder for the touchdown. So again, that connection between Franklin and Schroeder seems to be cooking in this game. And if you note, we have a different quarterback. I think we've had a different quarterback in every bowl game, I swear to God. We might have had 1 or 2, play multiple, but yeah, I mean, Franklin is a first-year starter, so he was about as good as Manning was, but I guess he's got the better throw power and accuracy that we saw in the last video, so he got the start this year and put up about the same numbers. I think the touchdown to INT split from Manning last year was better, but they're virtually about the same season. So Memphis is finally going to start cooking something here on offense. It's a toe drag catch, which somehow is in bounds. I mean, I would send that to the booth, but there is no booth to send it to, so that's just going to be a first down for Memphis. So after a quick run play at 2nd and 7, and so they're going to drop back now. A very clean pocket, but some pressure finally gets in his face, but he uncorks it downfield across the middle of the field and eventually finds an open receiver. Man, that was a dangerous pass to throw. He took all day to make that decision, but it worked out for him. So on 1st and goal now, they're going to shotgun formation from the 1-yard line, but it's a direct snap to Foster, the running back, and he just runs straight up the gut into the end zone for Memphis's first touchdown. So we have a 2-possession lead here, but there is plenty of time left in the New Orleans Bowl, and Memphis has already cut the lead in half. So the third quarter comes to a close. 7-14 is your score. Our offense needs to show up here in the second half in some kind of ways. Memphis already has another opportunity again here, 1st and 10, and it's a long, deep home run ball, and it is caught. So Allison lays one up here, just an absolute floater, and it comes down into the hands of a waiting Memphis receiver, and one-on-one coverage, we just could not lock him down. So flipping the field essentially here, Memphis has another opportunity as Allison finds another open Tiger receiver, and it is another first down. It's actually a 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. So Memphis is already making our defense look silly here in the second half. As time is ticking away here, we need to be sharp on either side of the football if we want a chance. And on the very next play, Allison finds the same receiver and gets a touchdown for Memphis. So we are tying this ball game up, ladies and germs. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is sacred. We are just struggling, man. So our offense continues to be ineffective, and it's 3rd and 1 for Memphis. We're going to hand off to the fullback, who's got just enough space to get up the middle and get the first down, and not a whole lot else. So we stopped the touchdown here, but we cannot stop the first down. So Memphis is going to continue to roll here on offense in our territory. Allison sitting all alone in the backfield. Plenty of coverage up front here, trying to run tempo to throw our defense off, but we were were on the money that time and were able to defend that pass well. So 2nd and 10 now for Memphis. Time now under 3 minutes left in the game. Got to get something rolling here on either side of the ball. If we can come up with a big stop here, it would be very, very important. Allison's going to drop back and uncork one to the side of the field, and it is a catch, a reception, a huge reception for Memphis's offense. And they're going to reload here, trying to run the hurry up again, keep the defense off our feet, man. He's just trying to move fast. They've got plenty of time to get into the end zone and score here. You'd think now they actually might be trying to go slower here, try and burn as much time as possible, and maybe kick the go-ahead field goal or get into the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown and just kind of put this one away. But they're trying to move a little bit fast here. But you saw that one was a pass into the dirt, so they're going to have to reload here on 2nd and 10. Allison, it looks like he doesn't really know what to do, and he does find an open receiver. He's got to kind of come back for the ball and gets brought down in bounds, mind you. He didn't even get out of bounds, so the clock is running now for Memphis, and they're going to try and run hurry up again. Allison's going to drop back. Pressure's coming off of the edge, and he sends another ball into the dirt across the middle. Looks like Memphis just wasn't prepared to run that tempo. They tried, and it just did not work. And so they're going to go with a field goal, and we definitely got to the kicker, but in an illegal form. So Memphis could have easily declined this and just taken a fresh set of downs and maybe try to get into the end zone, but for some reason they're going to decline it. I guess the AI just wasn't really smart to that kind of coach logic during these times. So Memphis is going to take the 3 points here. They burned off a little chunk of time here on a very long and just monotonous drive. But 17-14 is your score, so we have an opportunity now to take the lead again. So on 1st and 10, Franklin's going to send this one to the next city over. He's going to send that one back to Monroe, basically. So just a little over 2 minutes left to go on 2nd and 10. Franklin's going to try and go with the option, but it looks like he just overthought the play. He didn't even know where to go. He had a hole up the middle here, but there was a block that was separating him and Ramirez, and I guess his brain just broke trying to stay close to Ramirez in case he had to pitch it instead of just getting some yards. So on 3rd and 12 now, Franklin off to the side and finds another open receiver, but, I mean, I don't even know if you wanted to throw that one. That got nowhere. That was basically just a net nothing play. So 4th and 10 now. We're going to run hurry up and just try and keep the offense on the field. Is essentially this could be the end of our day here if we can't really convert on a first down, and we try to get it to Schroeder, who's in like double coverage, and he cannot haul it in, of course, because why would he? And it is a drop ball. So Memphis is going to get the ball deep in our territory, and we try to burn some time here, or we're going to need to burn timeouts to stop Memphis from burning time, and then Foster just absolutely busts one up the middle, gets about 15 yards on the ground, and that's essentially going to do it for your Indians here. But Memphis is going to get it a little bit closer and threaten to score, and they do score as Allison finds a receiver in the back of the end zone, and that is going to extend Memphis's lead to 10 points and essentially just do it for us, man. 24 unanswered points in the second half, and that is all she wrote. 24 unanswered points, and Memphis takes the New Orleans Bowl. Oh my gosh, that is the type of bowl game that would get you fired. I think canonically, if I wanted to end this series after this game, I don't think anyone would be that upset because, yeah, you probably would get fired after this. Losing a Fiesta Bowl, then the national championship, and then this, oh yeah, whatever. We'll talk about this all in the next video. We look over the stats and everything, so hope to see you guys there.